What's up, guys? First off, real quick, I wanted to let you guys know that I just came out with a song on Spotify, and you should check it out. I'll put links everywhere. And then I also made a music video, which I'll put links everywhere. You should go check that out. It's up on my music channel. So listen to that. So yeah, I've been on the carnivore diet again for the last 2 days, and actually 3 days now. And the reason why I'm on it is because I was eating a less strict diet and eating more complex carbs and more processed foods, and I literally felt so depressed and so inflamed, and I was in a really dark place in my mind. And it actually reminds me of Vegetable Police's video that I just watched today, talking about how his mind switched instantly, probably from a food that he ate, and he just felt super depressed.
I like being free like a minotaur. You can't take that from me. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, something gave me crippling depression for the last week. I don't know what happened. If it was just a food reaction, it could have been that pineapple. Seriously, I was just doom and gloom set in. I was like, what the hell happened? It felt like before I left Thailand. And I'm back here in Toronto and I'm just like, oh my god, I don't feel any different. I was like, what the hell's going on? I was depressed, physically sad. My life is amazing. I have the best life ever. And I was just sad, sitting here, bored, tired. It feels like it's a reaction to a food. Why would I feel like that? So, I don't know that I want to experiment anymore with these plants. They ain't get me anywhere.
A couple weeks ago, I was not feeling good at all. I was feeling super just inflamed and depressed and anxious and projecting into the future about how my life sucks and how my concussion has ruined my life, and feeling debilitated mentally and physically by just the inflammation going into my brain because I was eating not as healthy of foods, and it was just causing me a lot of issues. And so I made my last video talking about how I was going on a fast to create a kind of reset to gain some clarity and help focus for finals. And I definitely had a reset. My mind shifted, and I no longer wanted to continue to eat foods that are causing me problems, such as gluten-free pizzas and processed foods and overall just oily as well as complex carb containing and processed food containing foods. I needed to stop because I was feeling so bad, and it was just getting very dark in my head very quickly. And I knew that fasting would help me clear that up, because usually it is for me, when I'm feeling that way, it's inflammation in my brain. And so fasting reduces inflammation. And I also, after the fast, I decided to stick to a strict SCD low FODMAP diet. And so I started off with eating chicken and coconut oil and having lemon juice and oranges, and I was having some carrot juice, and eventually I was feeling not as good as I wanted to feel. And I usually have die-off symptoms from coconut oil, which can make me feel really bad. And if I'm not going to the bathroom enough when I'm having these symptoms, and it just stays in my system and gets really, really bad in my head, and my head will literally feel like it's dropping through the floor, and it's very debilitating, and it's hard to explain. My body, it's hard to control my arms and my legs, and I'm bumping into things, and I kind of just feel like I'm being chemically altered in certain ways. So I switched. I basically cut out the coconut oil, and I cut out everything else besides chicken. I'm just eating chicken right now, and I feel better for sure. My mind feels clearer. I feel so much calmer. My mind feels creative, and I just feel it's like a flush button. Someone just flushed the toilet out of my whole body of inflammation. All the inflammation is just reduced dramatically, and it's so nice. And when I first switched to eating carnivore diet again, and I've made other videos talking about carnivore diet, and I was eating differently on the carnivore diet then, and I don't know if I'll go back to eating that way because I was eating mostly ground beef, and I don't think I tolerate that as well as I handle the whiter meats like chicken and like fish. But yeah. So I'm back on the carnivore diet and eating just chicken. I'm trying to get the fattiest chicken I can find because it's hard to get enough calories, and because I've been fasting, I've been losing a lot of weight. And also, when I first transitioned, like when I fasted and then I started eating carnivore, I felt so tired and so just, and first thing is first. The first thing I wasn't doing right is I wasn't eating enough food, but also I'm pretty sure I was just transitioning. And so my electrolytes were getting all wacky, I think. And so I started to add this pink Himalayan sea salt. But literally, whenever I eat that pink Himalayan sea salt, I feel really bad in my head. My head feels kind of dizzy, and like I have to move really slow because my head feels like it's moving when it's not moving. And so I cut out the salt, and I'm just drinking little tiny bits of regular water with nothing in it and eating chicken, and my head feels better. I still do have some symptoms that are from my brain injury, and they're not fun to deal with, but my mood is so much better and my mental clarity is better. Like when someone says something to me, I don't have to think about it or try to reprocess it to understand what they're saying. It's just in my brain, and like it's instant. And so there's this definite lack of inflammation going on. And yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys because I'm feeling so much better in so many different ways. And it's like light and day, death, life difference. And when Vegetable Police was talking about how his mind switched earlier and how like just watching Vegetable Police's video makes me like I know that his gut and my gut are still similar in terms of the bacteria and yeast and parasites and stuff. And because if we had better guts, then all the carbs and all the fiber and all that stuff would not be causing us that many issues. And so when he says like maybe like certain humans have evolved to just eat meat, I don't, at this moment in time, which my perspective will shift and who knows what I'll think tomorrow, but right now in this point in time, I definitely think it has more to do with us people getting our microbiomes destroyed by so many factors such as antibiotics and over-the-counter medications and foods, and I don't know, I don't think, I mean, maybe some of us evolved like freaking meat-eating humans, but it just makes sense to me based on what I know it just makes sense to me based on what I know that the reason why we get such bad symptoms from eating things other than meat is because our gut is messed up and all this inflammation is coming from the fermentation and all these lipopolysaccharides and all these different metabolites going in through our gut, into our blood, and into our brain, causing us crap. Because when you start eating a carnivore diet, you're just not having any of that fermentation, and there's none of that bacterial activity, and so you're not getting inflammation, and so your brain clears up. It's like someone flushes the toilet, but some, like, that's not how it is for some people. Like some people that are actually healthy and have super good guts and never took any like antibiotics, or their mom just had a really good microbiome and they transferred it to their parents or transferred it to their kid, like they can tolerate plant foods and not have this inflammation response going into their brain because their gut is sealed up and their gut is healed, or it didn't need to be healed, it's already good. And so I think that there's just a vulnerable set of people that, one, are more sensitive to begin with, but is that sensitivity because of the bacteria and a leaky gut and fermentation by yeast, parasites, and all these sort of things, because they create toxic stuff that messes with your head. And this is like something that's been on my mind so much, is that when people talk about demons and all of these external representations of things or characters or archetypes, like, are these, like, I just think of bacteria and like what's controlling our brain and perception, because people who have mental health issues, like I do, and like a lot of people do, like, I just think it's so related to what's going in our gut, because when that is messed up, it controls your perception, and your whole brain is different. And like, not enough people know about how the gut affects the brain. Like, not enough people know that, and it's like severely needed, because I know for me, the difference in how I feel right now as far as my mood and my outlook on life, switching to a carnivore diet, away from more carbs and processed foods, but also just more carbs in general, it's like I'm a different person. It's like my potential in life feels like it's able to be reached, which is that's called like feeling happy. That's good. And when you're depressed or having struggles or issues, it's not a lot of people think that it could be from like a food or anything like that, because when you're feeling terrible in your mind, you start to see the external world through that lens, and you start to interpret your situation as outside forces impacting your inside world, when really it's your inside perception affecting your outside world, and what you're thinking is affecting you it's not. It's inside of you. It's like chemicals and bacteria and a state of electricity in your mind. And so I'm gonna stick with this chicken. I'm gonna eat chicken forever, apparently, because I feel happy and I feel clear. And so this is this isn't necessarily day 3 of just chicken. This is like day 2 of just chicken. So I want to go for 30 days, because I was feeling low energy when I was transitioning and I wasn't eating enough food, but now I feel like I have energy and I don't see a reason not to do this yet. So I'm gonna stick with this chicken, probably some fish, carnivore diet. Maybe, like, I was eating ground beef before, and maybe I'll stick to leaner meats or leaner beef. Like, we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of excited. Like, everything feels exciting now, and everything feels more positive, and it's because of the lack of inflammation in my brain, and this is just so important for people to know. That's the video. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my music. It's on Spotify. It's called More Than Myself, the single that I just released. And check out the music video. And if you want to get a cool shirt like this, you can go to my Threadless, which I'll link up in the description. And yeah, it's actually made from an oil pastel that I did many years ago that I turned into a shirt. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.